Can we show you how to break into the luxury market? For most wedding photographers and filmmakers, the business side of running a business doesn't come naturally, but we learned 3 crucial lessons that have led us to doubling and tripling our prices, booking weddings in the luxury market consistently over $10,000 each, allowing us to earn more money while working half the amount that we used to. And now we want to share those lessons with you in our upcoming live 3-day free workshop. We can't wait to share all the tips, the strategies, and the practices that have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue. And here's the best part. It's going to work no matter what stage of business you're in. So you can register now at thelevelupco.com/workshop, and we're going to be cheering to your success in no time.
This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petronovich.
And I'm Kelley Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Well, hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for another conversation this week on the podcast. And I am joined, as always, by my girl, Taylor. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm actually really, really excited because my favorite thing that we do as a brand is just around the corner. If you guys didn't skip through our little pre-roll ad that we had there, we are ramping up for the road to luxury yet again. This is like mine and Kelly's baby. We love this workshop so much, and it's coming at you again in 3 weeks.
We love it. Again, it's our Super Bowl, something that we only really do twice a year. We had it earlier in the spring, and we actually love, if you have been someone who has signed up for our Road to Luxury workshop, which is honestly such a special workshop. It's such a great place for community, for inspiration, for awareness in what the wedding industry offers for us as filmmakers and photographers. And if you have been a previous attendee, hop on in again and be a part of it. Maybe you didn't, see through the full workshop. You only maybe joined in for one of the days, and now you're in a better place in your business where you can really do a deep dive and spend some more time with us. So I invite newcomers, we invite past attendees also for our Road to Luxury workshop. It's a great time, a great place, a really positive space filled with a thriving community that are all on just a similar path. Taylor, what's that path?
Yeah, so we want to take your business from mainstream to luxury. It's where you can start serving the clients that really fuel you creatively. We can charge more and more, which means we can work less, avoiding burnout while also building the lives that we want. So your business goes from like running your life to adding to your life, which is really exciting. And the transformations that we've seen just from this workshop alone have been absolutely incredible. We get people in our DMs or our email inbox all the time. And it's just something really special that we love sharing with the community. So if that's something that you're interested in participating in this round here in August of 2024, we invite you to hop on in. You can go to thelevelupco.com/workshop and save your seat. Again, it is totally free. We want to, do this for you guys yet again in 2024 because we saw such great results in this spring. And I feel like what better time to prepare for the upcoming year than kind of the fall now. So that ties in perfectly to the topic of today's episode because we're going to be chatting through some things that you can be doing right here, sitting in August, or if you're listening in the future, maybe September or October of 2024, to set yourself up for a really successful 2025.
Absolutely. This is kind of the time of year where I'm sure all of us now have been fully booked out for 2024. Maybe you might get that last minute New Year's Eve inquiry, who knows? But for the most part, we're about done. We're closing the doors on 2024. And as you've probably seen through chatter and Facebook groups, it was a bit of a slower year for many of us. But on the flip side, what we have been hearing from wedding planners, who I love hearing from wedding planners, planners because they're more at that front end of the booking timeline. So when I hear from wedding planners that 2025 is looking incredible, I know that in the next 2 to 3 months, those inquiries and leads from wedding planners are going to find their way into my inbox. And so I kind of know what's ahead. And so 2025 is going to be, I think, so unlike 2024. And we want you guys to be able to do a few things that we're going to share with you today on how to set yourself up for a really profitable 2025. Taylor, what is the first one that we have written down for our listeners?
Okay, so I just have to say you teed us up perfectly because you were talking about wedding planners kind of being that first line in the booking process, and then there's a trickle down effect, right? So the next step for them is they're going to source things like their venue, shortly followed by their photographer and their cinematographer or their filmmaker, right? So that means that so many planners are about to be searching for creative partners to team up with. And because our listeners are mostly photographers and filmmakers, that means forming planner relationships should be at the top of your priority list. So we want you to, over kind of the slow season. I'm so sorry to those of you who are in Florida or the South where you're like, our wedding season's just getting started. I'm so sorry. But we want you to really prioritize forming one solid new planner relationship. And we're not saying 10 for a reason, because I truly do think that it benefits you more to go deep rather than wide when it comes to relationships. And it doesn't take that many solid relationships to book out a full calendar too.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So, if you're kind of sitting here in August and maybe you worked with a planner earlier on in the year that you really, really loved and you wanted to solidify that relationship a little bit more. It could be someone that you previously had worked with, maybe even last year. Or maybe, you kind of have your eyes on a planner that's doing really, really cool things. You're inspired by their designs. You feel like they are really speaking to the level of weddings that you want to be doing. And so we would advise you to go for it. Go for it and let them know that you exist and start to form that relationship with them. The next thing that we would say is now is the time to ensure that all of your season's best is being showcased in the body of work on your website. One of the biggest things Taylor and I see is people and filmmakers and photographers not swapping out imagery often enough to where it's keeping their brand up to date and their portfolio up to date in the way that showcases the true weddings that they're shooting now. Maybe your website is showcasing weddings that you were shooting 3 years from now, and now you're serving a totally different client. So take a look at the weddings that were really true portfolio pieces for you and be sure that they're on your portfolio now. Taylor,
Yeah,
what
and
else?
oh my gosh, so I kind of want to like stay here for a minute because you guys, it is heartbreaking to us when we are kind of going through our mentorships or our coaching programs or things like that, and we're looking at people's websites, and the most recent work we see on there is years and years old, right? So like maybe the most up-to-date thing is like from 2021, but we know for a fact because we follow them on Instagram, we know that they have all this incredible content kind of just like waiting to be seen by the world. And it makes me so sad because, yes, people love looking at Instagram, and of course, clients and planners and everyone who may be inquiring with you will look at your Instagram. But I feel like your website is like where that trust is built. So if you're not sharing your best work that maybe you've already even posted on Instagram on your website, then huge opportunity missed. Like people have such short attention spans, and they're looking through, dozens of options for their wedding, truly. And if that gallery or that image or that film isn't on your website, they may not know you're like a vital option for them, and they may click off and just find somebody else that would be a better fit based off of what they're seeing on the website, not based off of your experience or what you actually could do, but based off of what you are putting out there. So I just feel like this portfolio one is so key, and kind of like if you're the kind of person maybe where you're like out of sight, out of mind, you just really don't think about it, like utilize your Google Calendar app on your phone or your iPhone or your Apple Calendar or whatever it may be, or set reminders on your phone or schedule an email to go to yourself, 6 months from now. There's like so many ways you can kind of go about like triggering those reminders. Or if you're like Kelly and you're a paper planner person, like skip forward a few months and just put like update portfolio on that future date. It's so important that we want to just like hammer home like please, please, please. If you take nothing else away from this episode, like the portfolio is so important.
Yeah, this is also just a quick Kelly story time. A friend of mine who's a photographer, and then a friend of mine who's a wedding planner. I was talking to the wedding planner, and she was saying that when the photographer, their website was just outdated. It was old. It was time for something fresh. And now they do have something fresh that they put out earlier this year, which is really exciting. But for the longest time, they were leading with just kind of focusing more on their Instagram presence, and their website presence went, kind of hid in the background. And so that planner was telling me that it was kind of getting hard to sell her clients on that photographer, because the website was so outdated and it wasn't even a reflection of his work anymore or the quality of weddings that he does now. And so when, and you don't always have, not all of us have like a really deep planner relationship like this where they're advocating heavily for you, but she would basically tell the clients, okay, don't look at the website, go look at the Instagram, because the Instagram is what really showcases the true body of work and the website is kind of outdated. But you don't want that. Like that's, and she basically said it's getting harder and harder to sell them on to my clients because of that inconsistency. So just something for you guys to think about, especially as you're dipping your toes into working more with planners, establishing relationships with them. You want it to be so easy. You want it to be that easy button push. You want them to be proud to send clients to your website or to your Instagram, into all of the areas where you have a social media presence, and ensure that they're not embarrassed by, maybe what you have going on one platform versus, another platform.
Yeah, no, we don't want to be a hard sell. We want to be what we call the easy yes button. Like it needs to be an easy yes. And like having that be consistent and having it be up to date and having it really being like your best foot forward is going to make it the easiest yes you possibly can. So don't sleep on the portfolio.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the next one that's not maybe as flashy and not as fun, but guys, it really truly does speak volumes to your brand and your level of professionalism, which is so important. Like anyone can create beautiful imagery, but if you don't have this professionalism kind of like locked down, then you're going to create a negative reputation for yourself in the industry. So we want you to take this time to really refine your processes behind the scenes. And yes, again, it's not as flashy and fun maybe as adding things to your portfolio or revamping your Instagram, but things like the way you're communicating with people via email, or maybe even your back-end booking process when it comes to contracts or proposals or questionnaires being sent out. Like these kinds of things that are kind of like the inner workings of our day-to-day business practices are really key. And that's a huge piece of the client experience. And also remembering that the planner is your client too at this level. And we want to make it the least clunky as possible and as smooth as possible. So we have a few resources that we just want to really quickly share with you guys to make this process a little bit easier. We have email templates in our shop, both client facing and planner facing. So if you are maybe one who maybe words just don't come as easy to you, or you want it to just feel a little bit more elevated in terms of the language you're using in emails, or even like how to word things that may be a little bit more sensitive, then we would invite you to head on over to our shop, just the levelupco.com/shop, and grab those email templates. They're available to you now or anytime really. And here's another one. So we talk about HoneyBook and our preference for other CRMs here. So if you're one of those people who maybe you hopped on the HoneyBook train, and you've been hearing some chatter about maybe it's not the easiest for planners to work with and they would prefer different methods, here's an alternative. I've been using Dubsado since 2018, and we've been singing their praises essentially as a brand for a long time. And we finally have a discount code to share. So we're really excited. You can use the code levelup20, all caps, for 20% off your first year of Dubsado. Yes, that's an affiliate link. I'm legally obligated to tell you that. But we've been sharing it well before we had an affiliate link, and we will continue sharing it even if they take that away because we think it's so much better than HoneyBook. And
Yeah.
if you have, yeah, I just we get lots of DMs when we start talking about HoneyBook in a negative way. So do we want to just like maybe clear some of those up so we're not getting so many DMs with those questions? Like, why is it that we don't like HoneyBook?
Why do you hate HoneyBook? It's simply clunky. It's not easy to
Mhm.
work with. It requires a planner or a client to like create a login. Like no one really wants to do that. And we had Kate and Co, a luxury wedding planner, in St. Louis come on, and she was like, "Gosh, you guys, I'm gonna get a cease and desist from HoneyBook because of how much I talk about how much I despise that platform." And she's like, it is just not easy for clients to work with. And especially if you're doing all of your emails through HoneyBook, the way she described it is like many of us operate off of like Gmail, right? Or like G Suite. And HoneyBook doesn't make it to where you can like search for those emails. So if she wants to look back on like a past thread of emails, she can't find that. She has to log into HoneyBook to be able to do that. Am I saying that right, Taylor?
I think so. Or even to like respond to emails. I think there's like a login feature. And guys, just like imagine if these planners are working with 10 photographers a year, all with different HoneyBook like logins, and it's just like so frustrating from them. They just want to be able to like really quickly open forms or open links or respond to emails. They don't want things jamming up their own processes and systems or make it to where they're essentially banging their heads against their computer. Like we want to be the easy option. We want to be easy to work with. We want to be the yes men, those kinds of things like that make it just like an easy, repeatable referral for these planners. And so Dubsado makes it to where you don't have to do any of those things. Again, I've been using it for, oh my gosh, 6 years now, I guess. And it's if you want to send a contract, great. It's just a hyperlink in an email and they just open it. There's no logging in required. I don't really
Hmm.
even use like any of like the proposal features anymore. I used to, I don't anymore. It's truly just like an invoicing and lead capture and contract, system for me. And it's honestly like super affordable. I don't know, maybe memberships are like $300 for a year or something. So I feel like it's one of those things where yes, maybe you already have like a system in place through HoneyBook, but just for a very like minimal, what I would consider to be a minimal cost, like you're instantly elevating your brand and your experience that you're providing to not only clients but wedding planners. So to me, that's like a worthwhile investment. And I have to say also that they have a hugely helpful blog and like YouTube channel to kind of like walk you through the processes of setting those things up. So I don't want this to become like an ad for Dubsado by any means, but I just want to say that like don't discount the effects that your business processes have on your brand. Like those things all add up. And it in
Yeah.
turn directly reflects how you're being portrayed in the market.
If you do one of these things, one of these things on our list, I mean, you should do them all. You should do like all of them. But this is a really, really important one. And it's one that we get a lot of pushback from because it's something that people get comfortable with in our business, but we don't want, comfort here. We want to see big changes in our business and starting to implement things that now are going to serve a new level of the market and not the clientele that you once served.
Okay, that was the most beautiful segue into our next one because we want to challenge you guys. This is another thing you should be doing to prepare yourself for a really great 2025. We want you to do one thing that feels scary to you or one thing that's outside of your comfort zone. So we naturally tend to kind of retreat into comfort. I think we're just humans. We're designed to do that way. But when it comes to growing your business, I think it really requires stepping out of your comfort zone in so many ways. So that's going to take shape very differently depending on your personality. So if you're like me, maybe you're an introvert. And so networking and socialization sounds really intimidating. So maybe for you, that will be attending a networking event. That's so scary. But for people like Kelly, who are huge like people person people, that's something that feels really, really natural. So maybe for Kelly, it would be something else. So I don't know. Look and see intrinsically what is scary to you, what you've been kind of like eyeing, but you haven't like taken the plunge into because it feels really daunting or intimidating. And I don't know, what are some other things maybe people just to kind of stir up some ideas that people can kind of do that maybe feels scary and intimidating, but it's going to be really good for their business?
Yeah, like you said, it's very easy for me to put a networking event on my calendar and look forward to it and go about it with, it just feels seamless and easy. But one thing I think about myself that is always a little bit scary is I just hate being turned down. I think like the extrovert
Oh,
in me is like, want to pleasing all the people and I want to say, everyone's like, yes, do this or yes, do this for me. But if it's like a, oh no, thank you, I don't think like you're the right fit for that, like that like crushes me a little bit. So I would say for me, something that I plan to do, and for others who, getting in the room and networking feels really easy, but maybe you kind of have some feelings that get hurt if you're turned down. I think I just need to put myself out there more to let people know that I would be available to maybe shoot a workshop of somebody's or shoot the networking event or something like that. Maybe like extend my services in a way where I'm putting myself out there in a vulnerable state. But yeah, I'm like I don't do that often enough because I get so scared of people telling me no. But what's the harm, We're just here to, if you just go about it as like I'm just here to serve and I'm here to provide my services in a really great way. Maybe you're a photographer that, you want to work with another fellow photographer or have them start referring you a little bit more. Maybe you guys are swapping headshots so that you guys can start becoming a referral basis for each other. Whatever it may be, there's so many avenues that we can go down on this. But yeah, I just think like for me, it would be I need to like bring more awareness to those a little bit outside of my circle that I would be willing to serve them by shooting, an event of theirs or whatever, and not be afraid to be told no.
yeah, that's so true. Like if people are not seeing you do something regularly, then they may not, associate you with being an option or somebody who wants to do that. So I think it's so good. And honestly, I think we could all use like a little bit of rejection therapy because I think a lot of us would probably share in that. Like hearing no is really hard, but you have
Yeah.
to put yourself out there. This can even take shape in like a creative way, right? So maybe I think that drone stuff comes a little bit more naturally to the filmmakers, but it's something a little newer in the photography world. So maybe you have been, eyeing a drone or, even like a mini drone. And because you've been seeing all this beautiful drone photography being shared on Instagram and you feel a little scared, a little intimidated, like go for it. Like just try. Like do it one time. Just, spend the however much, $400 on like the DJI mini, whatever, and
Yeah,
bring it to a wedding.
that drone is great. It's like a little
Yeah.
powerhouse. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, and just, just shoot. Like you don't have to bring it out during the reception or anything crazy, but like just like flex those muscles a little bit and like get used to like doing something outside of your comfort zone. I think that there's something just so beautiful of like pushing yourself a little bit past your comfort. And that's where the growth comes from. As an artist, as a business person, as a human, like all of these things. I think we just need to push it a little bit more.
Yeah. And that's going to yield in really great results for us in the next year, and the years ahead. So, was that it, Taylor? Did we have any others?
We
That was
had
our
one more.
list.
There was
Okay.
just one more. I'm like the list keeper, the typing all the things, the type A soul over here. Okay, so the last one is to really look deep into your brand. And if you missed last week's episode, go back and listen to it. Because it's all about like your brand and how you're attracting or deterring potential clients. And we really want to help you identify whether or not you need to refresh certain elements of your brand to really make yourself the most elevated presence, both online and in person, as possible. Or maybe even you need to go through a full rebrand, and that's totally fine. I think that a big mistake people think is like, I already did that. It is done, and that's checked off my list for all of time. But the business, your business, the industry, and your brands are almost like living, breathing things that just like need constant attention and constant revamping. And it's true that like the people at the top are never done. They never see their businesses done. They've never seen themselves as arrived. And I think we should kind of look at our brands that way. Like it's never perfect, it's never done, it's never complete. And so like kind of figuring out what you can improve, looking to 2025 and those clients that you're going to be attracting next season, next year, and seeing how your brand can help you there. And we have another resource. Guys, all these will be linked in the show notes below. So don't feel like you need to like be doing it all right now. I know we kind of overloaded you a little bit, but you can head over to thelevelupco.com/brand and grab our free brand audit checklist where you can kind of go through some exercises and see where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, so you can identify what needs a little TLC. And we just kind of also want to say that it's really, really helpful to go through this with a mentor. Having extra
Yeah.
eyeballs on your brand and your business and getting that feedback back in real time as you're going through these things is so monumentally helpful.
So helpful. And
Mhm.
we love walking through our students through our 12-week coaching. That's kind of like a lot of what we do is walking through our students, having really like customized eyes on each and every student on where they need to go with their refresh or their rebrand. And so by going through this audit, you're kind of getting a little bit of a head start because it's actually pulled from the workbook from our course, the Luxury Framework, and the provided workbook that we give to our students for the Luxury Frame or the Luxury Mastermind. And if you take this audit, and I really hope that you do, it's gonna be so eye-opening for you, and you're seeing that you need a refresh or a rebrand, don't do this alone because it's heartbreaking for us. And we've gotten, now that we've guided over 100 filmmakers and photographers through our coaching program, we've seen far too many who have just recently gone through a refresh or a rebrand without the awareness of really what wedding planners are looking for, what luxury clientele, high net worth clientele is looking for in an overall brand. We just want to ensure that you are making really smart decisions for your business, that, you're not wasting any money on, things that didn't really serve you or weren't speaking directly to the clients in the market that you want to get to. And we're all about taking filmmakers and photographers, as you know, and pulling them from the mainstream into the luxury market. So yeah, Taylor, any other thoughts on that? I think the only other thing I would say is one of the things that we hear from filmmakers and photographers who are on the fence, maybe about joining a mentorship or something like that, is that they feel like they have to get all their ducks in a row before they join.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, no, 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 that's not it.
We're helping you. We are helping you place the ducks in the row in real time. That's literally what it is. No, it's so great. And again, we want to kind of minimize the amount of undoing we have to do because you guys, time is so precious and time is so limited and we all have busy lives and family obligations or whatever it is. So like we really want it to be super efficient. And yeah, that's the heart behind what we do. So again, just for a little taste of what we offer our coaching students, again, we would love to invite you into our free workshop. It's coming up just in a few weeks, the week of August 20th. So if this is resonating with you, if you are ready to really take your business from that mainstream point to luxury, so you can just serve those kind of clients you really want to be serving and create the art you want to be creating and make the money you want to be making. It really all starts there at the road to luxury. So you can go over to thelevelupco.com/workshop. Again, it'll be in the show notes. Save your seat. It's going to be an amazing time. We are so excited. And we want to see all the progress that you make too. So if you kind of start implementing some of the things that we talk about in today's episode, please feel free to post a story on Instagram and tag us at The Level Up Co so we can see and cheer you on along the way. We really love our community and we think it's so much fun to have this not be like a one-way conversation where you're just listening to us every week. We really want to be also listening to you and communicating with you back. So the Instagram is the best place to do that.
Yep. So, we hope that this was really helpful for you guys. Last week, all about branding. This week, all about the strategy that can set you up for a more profitable 2025. Again, I really, truly, truly believe that it's going to be an incredible year for our industry. And we just want you guys to be on the forefront of that and making sure that you are leveraging with your brand, with your talent, to speak to those clients that are going to move the needle in your business and basically take your business from mainstream to luxury. So, hope you guys are having a great week so far. We hope that you have a great week ahead, that your season or your backlog is feeling inspiring and lighter than normal. I know my backlog is feeling slightly heavy at the moment, but it happens to the best of us, right? So I'm right there in it with you if you're kind of elbows deep in the editing room. But again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. We hope to see you at the Road to Luxury workshop in just a couple of weeks, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.